She's Mamie. Yes, she believes in me. She reads a story from a book or two. She's Mamie. Mammy's Corner! Hello, my littles, and welcome to Mammy's Corner, and I'm Mammy. But you already knew that, didn't you? Yes, you did. It is time to say our affirmations. Are you ready? Let's say them really loud, my littles, because you are all this. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, here we go. Ready? I am loved. You sure are loved. But let's say it louder. Ready? One more time. I am loved. Good job. Now, besides your parents who loves you, that's right, God loves you. But who else loves you? Mammy loves you. And don't you go forgetting it. All right, ready? Next one. I am good. You sure are good, but we need to say it louder. Ready? I am good. Good job. Now for the last one. I am kind. You sure are, my little, but one more time, really loud. You ready? I am kind. Good job, my littles. Now, it is time for you to take your remote, arrow it down, move it over, give Mammy a thumbs up to let me know that you like my stories. So, are you ready? All right, so let's go ahead and start getting ready by sitting in our favorite comfy chair, or maybe you want to cuddle with someone or something. And for Mammy, my something is going to be my favorite blankie. Do you have a favorite blankie? Mammy's got a favorite blankie. Oh, there, that's my favorite blankie. Now, maybe I have Jet. Ready? Come here, Jet. Come on. Come on, Jet. Come on. Come on. This is Jet. Jet is our newest member of the family. He's only 4 months old. He's still just a baby. We got him because Sage is no longer with us. And he bites a lot. Do you have any animals that do that? They just want your attention, so they nibble, nibble, nibble on you. Sometimes it can hurt, can't it? Well, he just got all excited because normally when I put a blanket on, he knows it's time for cuddles. But I'm not going to cuddle with him right now. Right now, it is your turn. You ready? So, if you have a favorite blanket, put it on. Or maybe you want to cuddle with your favorite pillow. This is my favorite pillow. Or maybe you have a favorite stuffy. Or like with Jet, you cuddle with your own favorite pet. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, let's get started on the story. I'll be reading from the Friendly Animal Stories. Are you ready? Here we go. This one is called Egbert the Earthworm. Doo-doo-doo. Once there was an earthworm, a little red earthworm. He was 3 inches long, and his name was Egbert. And he knew something that made him happy. But it made a lot of work for him, too. One afternoon, he was looping along the ground, his head held high, when Mrs. Bushy Squirrel saw him. "If you keep sticking your head up like that," said Bushy Squirrel scornfully, "some fat robin is going to come along and snap it right off. Then you look pretty foolish, a headless worm." "Oh, dear me, no. That could never happen," said Egbert. "There isn't a robin in this field who is not a good friend of mine. Besides, I like to see the world. It's very beautiful, you know." Mrs. Bushy Squirrel snorted. "What would a lowly worm know about the world?" she demanded. "Why, even with your head held high, you're still only a half-inch off the ground. And even if the robins are your friends, what if you came to a low bridge? Then snap! Your head would come off." "Dear friend," said Egbert gently, "there's not a bridge around in this entire field. Although," he added, "I wish there were. For where there is a bridge, there is a brook. And there's nothing more restful than dipping your feet in cool water." "You haven't got any feet," said Bushy Squirrel. It was a rude thing to say, and it would have hurt Egbert's feelings if he hadn't known something. "So I haven't," he said cheerfully.
But if I had some feet, it would be restful to dip them in a brook. If we had a brook. I'm glad I'm not a worm, said Mrs. Bushy Squirrel, because I think worms are silly. Nevertheless, it's a beautiful world, said Egbert. And so he bowed gallantly to Mrs. Bushy Squirrel. Are you? Before she could answer, Mr. Gray Wolf came loping through the forest. Oops, I mean grass. He almost stepped on Egbert with one of his big long paws. Why don't you watch where you're going, said Mr. Gray Wolf. He snarled. I've got enough trouble without falling over you. Sir, I'm sorry you have trouble, Egbert said sympathetically. May I be of some help to you? You be of help to me? Mr. Gray Wolf threw back his shaggy head and snorted disdainfully. That means he wasn't very nice. Why, you lowly worm, my trouble is that I am hungry. But it would take you and 100 like you to make one good bite for me. So just how do you plan to help me, you little bitty bit of nothing? It was an unkind thing to say, and it was lucky for Egbert that he knew something, or he would have felt very bad indeed. But now he only looked up at Mr. Gray Wolf and said, I guess I really wouldn't make much of a meal for a big husky fellow like you. Mr. Gray Wolf flexed his muscles proudly. I am a mighty strong fellow, he admitted. I haven't seen a stronger one in my goodness knows how long, Egbert agreed. Nobody had noticed Grandpa Woodchuck come ambling up. An annoyed look passed across his grizzled face when he saw Egbert. I've told you and told you to stay out of my field, he stormed at the little earthworm. I've told you and told you that when I dig my burrow underground, I want to feel private. I don't want a lowly worm to come tunneling into my living room. Why, my dear fellow, I wouldn't think of disturbing you in your home, Egbert protested. But this is such a large field. Surely there is room under it for both of us. I don't care how large it is, growled Grandpa Woodchuck. I spend a lot of time in my burrow and I don't want any worms around. Worms make a place look messy. It wasn't a fair thing to say, but Egbert didn't mind. He remembered something. I know, he nodded understandingly at the woodchuck. You never leave your burrow all winter. You sleep, hibernate, I believe you call it, through all of the cold months. That is really a very clever plan. How smart of you to think of it. All this while, Mrs. Bushy Squirrel had been shaking her bushy tail to make it fluffier and smoothing her fur to make it shine. Now she spoke up in a pleased way. I really am quite beautiful, just as you say, Egbert. She gave her tail another shake and arched it proudly over her back. You know, for a lowly worm, you're rather intelligent after all. I think I'll run around this field 3 times to exercise my strong muscles, announced Mr. Gray Wolf, gazing admiringly at his legs. But you needn't worry, Egbert. I won't step on you. For a lowly worm, you're not such a bad fellow. And of course, you're quite right that you've never seen anybody huskier than me. Grandpa Woodchuck had been thinking quietly, and he didn't look nearly so annoyed now. In fact, he looked as if he were well satisfied with himself. I'll tell you, Egbert, he said. You can stay in my field if you stay way down there at the other end. As you point out, I'm a clever fellow. So I can certainly figure out a way to get along with a lowly worm. You stay at your end, and I'll stay at mine. Egbert thanked them all for their kind words. Then he went looping home. It had been a tiring day, and the animals had been more irritable than usual. But I did my best, thought Egbert. Poor things. He ducked into his hole and wriggled through the loose soil to his house. When he got there, he fixed himself a nice supper of dirt. Yes, he thought as he was eating, he had done his best today. He had told Mrs. Bushy Squirrel that she was beautiful, and Mr. Gray Wolf that he was strong, and Grandpa Woodchuck that he was clever. Yesterday he told the robins that they were graceful birds, and before that he had told Little Thing, the field mouse, that she could run the fastest of anyone. Everything he said was true, and he had made them all happy. But it had been hard work. Then Egbert had leaned back in his chair and thought of something that made him happy too. It was a sign he had seen while he was crawling one day, feeling sorry for himself, because he was just a lowly earthworm. Then, quite by accident, he had happened to raise his head. In those sad days, he had never held his head high, of course. And there before him was the wonderful sign. In big, bold letters it said, Earthworm Farm. We raise and sell earthworms. My goodness, Egbert thought. Why would anybody want to buy a lowly worm like me? He wriggled closer to read the rest of the sign. In smaller letters, it told how earthworms, by tunneling through the ground, working the earth, help make good soil that will grow bigger and better fruits and vegetables. Earthworms are valuable, said the sign. Suddenly, little Egbert felt so proud and happy. He wanted to shout the news to everyone, and he wished that everyone would be as happy as he. But then he had another thought. If he told the animals about the sign, it wouldn't make them happy. Not at all, because, of course, they weren't valuable enough for anybody to raise. Who ever heard of a squirrel farm or a wolf farm or a woodchuck farm? What would anybody want with a robin farm? And what in the world could you possibly do with a mouse farm? Then and there, Egbert made up his mind. In the future, he would work really hard, telling others only the good things that would make them happy, just as that sign had made him happy. But he would keep to himself that wonderful something that he knew, that a worm was the most valuable of them all. The end. Wow! So that worm that knew something knew that he was the most valuable of them all. But is that really true? No. Everyone in their own right is very valuable. Even you. You have all the smarts up here and all the love in your heart to know that you are valuable too. I hope you liked that book. If you did, will you take your remote, arrow it down, and move it over and give Mammy a thumbs up to let me know that you liked the story? I hope you did. So, when Mammy says that's the end, what do I ask? That's right! Besides your parents who loves you, God loves you with all his heart. That's right! But who else loves you? Mammy loves you! Shh! But Mammy loves you bestest. Until next time, my littles, be good and be kind.